There's a few other products I get at the grocery store that I like to stock up on and I like to have on hand for emergencies. And these are great because they're so easy to get. Other herbs and foods I like to get is I keep cloves on hand. They're wonderful for tooth pain. Just suck on a whole clove. It's fantastic. It'll freshen your breath too. Cinnamon is great. It's antibacterial. It repels pests on your plants. It'll do all kinds of things. It's also really wonderful for people who have blood sugar issues. Turmeric, I think the book has already been written on how great turmeric is, and black pepper is a catalyst for turmeric. Go ahead and get yourself some of both. Chamomile, you can get chamomile tea in the tea section as well. It's very calming and soothing. It's also a little bit of a diaphoretic, so it will help make you sweat if you feel ill as well. But chamomile tea is a great thing to have on hand. Cacao or cocoa powder. I keep cacao. It's anti-inflammatory and it actually has very beneficial effects on mood. So especially when people are feeling anxious or having panic attacks or just generally not feeling at ease, you can give them some chocolate. It works really well. Okay. And if you don't have like chocolate, like a chocolate bar, you keep some cacao on hand and just, and make them a brownie, make them a really healthy chocolate cake, whatever you got to do. I have some wonderful recipes for those. Carrots. People do not realize that there's actually cultures around the world that consider carrots a medicine, not a food, because it is so powerful medicinally. Carrots are wonderful for healing the eyes, any kind of issues with the eyes. They are powerful for the immune system. Matter of fact, there was a community, can't remember what state it was in, but I remember Dr. Christopher talking about it, and he said they grew lots and lots of carrots, but they lived over a mountain pass, and they typically would try to get their carrot harvest in and get their carrots over the mountain pass in order to go to market and trade before the winter set in. And so they would trade for other goods and other foods and then bring it back to the community before they all hunkered down for the winter. And there was one year where they weren't able to get over before the first snow hit the pass and it closed the pass. So all the community had all winter long basically was just a lot of carrots. And after the pass finally opened in the spring, the doctor that was down in town was wondering, okay, how many death certificates do I need to sign? How many people are going to be sick? And what he was really shocked about when he finally went over the pass to go treat his regular patients was that not one person in the entire community fell ill and not one of them died because they ate a lot of carrots. It's a really, really amazing food. I suggest I would dig in to the internet and start looking up the healing benefits and the medicinal properties of each one of these foods. Greens cannot be stressed enough. If you have a dehydrator, just start buying up as many greens as you can, get them in that dehydrator. You'd be really amazed. One entire 5-pound bag of spinach will make a bottle of green powder about that big. But if you're taking a little bit of it every day, you will be amazed at the effect it has on your health. I can't stress greens enough. If you have nothing else, get greens. Beets are really powerful for building the blood. They help with the circulatory system. Radishes are hot and spicy. They will help with digestion. They help with circulation. They're fantastic. Cabbage, same thing. Cabbage is really, really soothing and healing on your digestive tract. If you have IBS or colitis or any of those things, start looking into eating cabbage and sauerkraut. Wonderful for the digestive tract. Citrus fruits, lemons, limes, oranges, grapefruit, highly antibacterial, highly antiseptic. Oranges are fantastic when you have a cold or the flu. They just eat whole oranges. Just start eating as many whole oranges as you can. Grapefruit is really powerful. It will make a lot of other things work faster and easier. Matter of fact, some of you, if you've ever been on regular medication from your doctor, some of you may have been advised that you're not allowed to eat grapefruit. And the reason you're not allowed to eat grapefruit is because it will amplify the effect of your medication. So if it was me, the first thing I would be asking is, well, if I have to be on this medication and grapefruit amplifies it, can I lower the dosage of my medication as long as I take it with grapefruit? So that's something you may want to ask. Potatoes. The reason I say potatoes is because what people do not realize is that potatoes is probably the closest thing to the one perfect human food. And I know that will be very controversial for a lot of people. But potatoes contain enough starch, enough complex carbohydrates to run every process in the body. They also are extremely high in vitamins and minerals and a lot of other chemicals that the body needs for proper function. And if you've ever really studied survival, you will know all about potatoes, because you can survive for years on potatoes alone and without, suffering a lot of malnutrition. If you can have potatoes and greens, even better. Shiitake mushrooms are great. You can find those often at the grocery store. They are wonderful medicinal mushrooms. I do not recommend powdering those. If you're going to do any kind of mushroom storage, dehydrate them whole, because the chemical properties that are in the mushrooms that are medicinal they don't break down as easy in a whole dried mushroom. And if you need it in powder form, powder it right before you're going to use it. Sea vegetables, if you have a grocery store that happens to sell dehydrated kelp, dulse, spirulina, chlorella, any of those things, get a hold of those. They are chock full of minerals and trace minerals that the body needs, and they're fantastic for helping to keep you healthy. So those are some of the other herbs and foods I would look for. Other products that you can pick up in the grocery store that are really good to have on hand for any kind of person who's getting into natural healing would be witch hazel extract. Witch hazel is an astringent. It tightens and tones the tissues. If you've ever had a spouse with hemorrhoids, you know how wonderful witch hazel is. Preparation H, the treatment for hemorrhoids, the H stands for hazel, for witch hazel. So you can just get plain old witch hazel extract, mix it with a little bit, like half and half of aloe vera gel, whip it up in the blender, and then you can just use that on a cotton pad on a hemorrhoid, and it's fantastic. Rubbing alcohol. Rubbing alcohol is just really good as a general antiseptic. Hydrogen peroxide is fabulous for use externally. You can just rub it right into your skin. It helps the immune system and whatnot. Baking soda is alkaline. Baking soda, if you ever get a canker sore on the inside of your mouth, just put baking soda right on it, because the mouth is an alkaline environment. Baking soda is very alkaline, and you're restoring that alkaline environment in your mouth. Put it right on a canker sore on the inside of your mouth, and it'll be gone overnight. Distilled vinegar. Distilled vinegar is just really great for washing your fruits and vegetables. I just put them in a sink of cold, clean water. I just dump all my fruits and vegetables in. I add about a cup of vinegar and just let them soak for a while, and it inhibits mold growth in the refrigerator. So distilled vinegar is great for that. You can use it for cleaning products too, that it's not as toxic. I do stock up on some cough drops. Now, it's better if you know how to make your own. I used to be a candy maker in my younger days, so I do know how to make my own. But if you can't make your own, or you don't have time to make your own, just go grab a few big bags from either Costco or the grocery store. And, the menthol ones are good because they have, again, that peppermint oil, and they have eucalyptus oil in them, which opens the breathing passages. Cherry is very good for a sore throat. And here's why. Cherries are natural analgesics. What that means is they are pain relievers. If you've ever noticed, if you've eaten a lot of cherries, your mouth goes a little bit numb. And that's why. They're just an analgesic. They will numb your mouth. So cherry syrup or cherry cough drops are used specifically for people who have a sore throat because they're experiencing pain and discomfort in the throat. So that's what those are good for. Beeswax, shea butter, cocoa butter. These are all wonderful things to have on hand if you can get them at the regular stores. And the reason I use them is to make salves. I just make them to, ointments and salves, so you can use them externally. Jojoba oil is really good. Jojoba is actually not an oil. It is a liquid wax, and it is the closest thing to the natural wax that your skin produces. So it's readily absorbed into the skin, which means any herbs that you mix with it are also readily absorbed into the skin. It makes a wonderful oil for massage therapy. It's fantastic for, getting any kind of herbs into the skin as well. Castor oil is something I keep on hand because it breaks up congestion in the liver and anywhere else. You take a baby's cloth diaper, put some castor oil on that. You put it on any area of the body where the organs are, put it over the liver or anything that you're having some congestion in and you want to help cleanse. And then put a heating pad over the top of that, leave it for a half an hour. Do it every day. You can do it 5 times a day. I don't care how often you do it, but castor oil is fantastic for breaking up congestion in the body. It works really, really well.